Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, whatever the case might be. Welcome back to the channel. I'm James from JVC Paints. In this video today, I'm showcasing one of the multiple projects I've been hinting at for the past while. It's a nostalgia project that I've quite enjoyed doing, and I'm really happy to share with you guys today. This is a Chaos Cultist Halfling unit for Warhammer Old World, or maybe it's Old Hammer Old World, or maybe Warhammer Fantasy Battle of the Old World, whatever it's called. You get the general idea, the rank and file version of it. Now, I caught the Old Hammer bug from Josh over at Crone and Command and Johnny Watson, who, with their Friday Gork and Mork videos, reignited my love for my own pile of really badly painted lead and pewter from back in the day. So seeing other hobbyists, their projects and their figures really got the nostalgia levels redlining for me, and I felt compelled to go back and visit an era when, Warhammer was truly fresh and new to me, and I was well into it. If you're familiar with Warhammer Fantasy, you probably know that in the 40 plus years of fluff, halflings are highly chaos resistant, but not totally immune to the dark powers. So in the old Realm of Chaos Slaves of Darkness book, you could roll halfling followers for your chaos champion. Now, unlikely things usually make the most interesting fantasy projects, at least in my opinion they do. So that's what I've been working on here. So I've been working on this Chaos Halfling project for about 20 years. There are a few other videos on my channel here which have featured some of the units I've done. They're not very popular. You'll probably in the very bottom of viewership, but they're there. These figures aren't conversions or antique Citadel Marauder miniatures, as I am not that wealthy, and I don't even think that the Sultan of Brunei could afford a full Warhammer army these days, a full retro one. The prices on eBay are just beyond the pale. The majority of these figures here are from Footsore Miniatures. Now, I've been painting a lot of Footsore stuff lately, stuff for myself and stuff for other people. And I've got to say that I find their minis are really well done and a treat to paint. If you're unfamiliar with them, I'll drop a link below so you can check out their website and take a gander and see what they got, see if anything piques your interest. Now, these little guys, pardon me, these little guys are from Hicksy's Halflings range. They're sculpted by Paul Hicks. Paul sculpts traditionally with putty and has done work for not only Footsore but also Empress. He was also one of the co-founders of Bolt Action Miniatures, and maybe you've heard of that game. The unit is comprised of 3 of the different sets that they have: the Halfling Cultists, the Halfling Witch Hunters, and the Halfling Command #2. And I have to say that the sculpts were all really nice and detailed, and they all painted up really nicely. Most of the range has a 14th century Lance Connect theme running through them, which is perfect for Old Hammer. But I do kind of selfishly wish that there were, had been more cultist figures. I think it would have been great. Now, as soon as I spotted the figures on the website, I was actually looking at historical stuff at the time, but I impulsively just started imagining this unit. And I knew I had to paint them up as an homage to the Thulsa Doom cultist from the 1982 Conan the Barbarian movie. If you haven't seen that film, go watch it immediately. I don't know why you haven't seen that film, but what's wrong with you? Go watch it. The amount of quotes you can drop during Warhammer games alone is worth it, or any war game, really. The second film, Conan the Destroyer, it's okay. It's got the sister from Wonder Years in it, but it's not as good. Red Sonja with Arnie is kind of the unofficial end of the trilogy, and it is definitely worth the 6-pack in 90 minutes of your time. So, back to the figures here. The orange and black and white colors are based on the robes of the cultists and the priests of Thulsa Doom. The writing on the hoods and the frocks is mostly made up, but I did sneak a bit of Japanese katakana on there as sort of an Easter egg. There are only 4 poses, so I tried to make each guy kind of unique in the way they were painted. The 4 holding the enchanted books have tentacles assigned to one of the 4 major chaos gods in the Warhammer pantheon. While in the unit, I made sure that they aren't standing next to their chaotic spiritual nemesis to keep things civil as things can be in a mob of chaos halflings. There were no major conversions on the rank and file, but I did replace one of the spears with a Roman pilum because it broke off and I had to fix it. And then also I put a couple scaled fry pans from another halfling set that I've been working on. I sort of glued them on a couple of these guys. Now, to fill up the unit to the big beefy number of 30, there are a few farm animals that they brought along with them. The farm animals are from Renja and were purchased from Warlord Games a long time ago. And a few other spots were still open, so a couple of rocks from the guard were recruited to get the unit's strength up. As halflings don't really have their own expanded entries in Warhammer lore, aside from a couple of units, the idea for me behind the Chaos Halflings is to use the goblins from the Orcs and Goblins as a base, mirroring their units and special abilities, and then to use the halfling stat line with the 1 or 2 special rules they have. So in essence, you know, I'm halfling sizing them, hobbiticizing them, I guess. As such, they're toughness 2 and weapon skill 2. So, and despite them being hard to hit, it makes them incredibly fragile. So, bodies are going to be flying in combat. To bulk up the unit and to make up the numbers, I had 1 monster, which takes up 4 figures. So it's nothing cheesy here. Like I'm not, definitely not, you know, throwing in some stilted monster stat line to be beardy. I'm just using it to represent 4 halflings. Now for this unit, I have a Yeti figure from Reaper I got on Amazon, and with my amazing sculpting skills, rivaling Mr. Hicks himself, I'm sure, as you can see. I gave him a cultist hood and a huge floppy mutton cannon there to scare the enemy. The command of the unit here, it's got 2 commanders. One is a warrior, one is a wizard. So the idea here is to give myself some flexibility where one can be a unit champion and the other one a special character if so desired. The figure in the robes in the book is from the Witch Hunter set. He'd be the wizard or shaman if played as a special character. The figure with the helmet and the shield would be would be the war boss or is played as a special character. The helmet is from the Chaos Knight set, and the shield is from the old Chaos Marauders. The figure is from the Halfling Command 2 set, and I opted to paint his codpiece as his knob to tie with the Cultist ape. So both are rocking with their cocks out. Should cause fear in their opponents. You know, fear +1, terror maybe a burning piss attack or 2. The command is rounded out with the standard bearer and the musician, both from the command set 2. The standard is a screen capture of a Thulsa Doom pennant scaled down. There's a small bit of aluminum foil or aluminium foil if you're from down under in the standard, so it maintains its shape. As the units of my Chaos Halflings army are based on goblins, I have 1 Halfling fanatic for this unit. This figure is from the Witch Hunter set. Trying to keep the theme, I painted him like Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe with a dark cobra blue cloak. He's carrying a sack of venomous snakes to chuck at the enemy for when he gets close. Or at his own guys if he goes and messes stuff up. Anyways, a few Vipers are already on the base. They're, you know, grounding, tagging along for good measure. Now, the bases in the movement trade were made by me. I know that the new old Hammer, whatever, everything's on 25mm bases. But let's just face it, that's just stupid nonsense from some corporate tools in Nottingham who, you know, probably all love anime and are just creepy. The army is geared towards 6th or 7th ed, that's when I started making units for the army. And that's when I had my best success playing the game, especially in 7th ed. I fucking ruled. I'm hoping to have a few more of these Old Hammer type videos up this year as a break from the usual World War II historical stuff. And the nostalgia for me, you know, it's like finding an old CD that you remember buying, or, you know, coming across a T-shirt from a concert you went to before the world went, you know, full retard. So, you know, it's very comforting. It's very satisfying. It's very relaxing. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep those brushes moving. Boy, boy.